Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever gone down the rabbit hole searching for a quick fix ab workout, you have definitely seen the wild claims out there. But today, we're cutting through all that fluff. We're jumping straight into the actual physiological reality of the 22-day six-pack, and we're breaking down a very specific, science-backed, 6-move floor routine that is designed to completely transform your midsection. No gimmicks here, just the straight science and the raw mechanics derived directly from our source material to actually get you there. Let's do this.
Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat, okay? Can you genuinely carve out visible popping abs in less than a month? You see these 20 or 30-day challenges everywhere online, but what does human biology actually say? Well, your abs are a muscle group, right? Just like your biceps or your shoulders, but they are uniquely positioned in this area where the body naturally prefers to store its evolutionary energy reserves, meaning body fat. So if you're currently sitting at a higher body fat percentage, 22 days is not going to just magically melt that layer away and leave you with razor-sharp abs overnight. But hey, don't tune out just yet, because the reality of what actually goes down in your body during that time frame is honestly way more crucial to your long-term fitness journey.
Here's the deal. Your starting point completely dictates your 22-day reality. For folks who are already sitting somewhere in the mid-teens of body fat, yes, this specific routine absolutely can carve away that last stubborn bit of overlying fat to make those abs visually pop out. But what if you're starting closer to, say, the 30% range? Well, then this time frame is your launch pad. It builds unshakable physical habits and lays down this concrete foundation of dense, structural armor right beneath the surface. And as your daily nutrition slowly chips away at that overlying fat over the coming months, the dense, powerful muscle you're building right now, that's what will eventually be revealed. So you aren't failing if you don't see them on day 22. You're just building the engine.
So here is our game plan for today. We'll start with the 22-day reality check, then move into mastering extinction training, break down the 6-exercise ab routine itself, and finally wrap up with consistency and the challenge. All right, part 1, the 22-day reality check. It is time to shift from those overnight myths to building bulletproof habits. So why exactly 22 days? Well, 22 days is actually widely recognized in behavioral science as the absolute sweet spot for forcing a permanent behavioral shift. When you introduce a repetitive, daily friction, like a seriously grueling core routine, your brain literally begins forming new neural pathways to adapt to that stress. It's this critical, perfect window that allows you to implement massive lifestyle changes. You see, you aren't just trying out a new set of crunches here, you are literally overwriting your daily default settings. If you can force yourself to do something incredibly difficult for 22 consecutive days, you just adopt a completely new way of living.
Moving on to part 2, mastering extinction training. Let's unpack the secret mechanic that perfectly scales this routine for everyone, from total beginners to advanced athletes.
And this right here is our secret weapon, extinction training. What is it? Basically, it's a highly scalable approach where you push against a strict time or rep limit until fatigue just entirely overtakes you. Now, you might be wondering, why is this so much better than just doing, say, 3 sets of 10 and calling it a day? Because extinction training forces total muscle fiber recruitment. By repeatedly pushing until your muscle mathematically cannot perform the task anymore, you guarantee progression. This is exactly why everyone, regardless of where they are in their fitness journey, can do this exact same routine. The workout just naturally scales right to your specific threshold of failure.
Okay, here is the loop, and it is pretty grueling. Step 1, you complete the repetition or time goal for the exercise. Step 2, you rest for exactly 10 seconds. Not 15, not a leisurely 30 seconds, just 10. And let me tell you, when your core is absolutely screaming, 10 seconds feels like a single blink. Step 3, you repeat this until you hit absolute failure, until you are completely extinct and you literally cannot hit that goal anymore. Finally, step 4, the second you become extinct on that movement, you immediately move on to the next exercise. A total beginner might go extinct in round 1, right? While a pro might make it all the way to round 5. But the beauty is both of them are going to reach 100% muscle exhaustion.
Part 3, the 6-exercise ab routine. 0 equipment, strictly floor-based, and complete core activation. We have arrived at the real payload of this explainer. Now take a look at how this is mapped out. Think of this as your master cheat sheet. Notice the really intelligent sequencing here. We aren't just randomly throwing crunches together on the living room floor. This routine sequences beautifully. It starts with bottom-up movements, transitions to rotational exercises, and finally finishes with top-down exercises. This matters tremendously because it stops those easily fatigued upper abs from burning out before the much harder-to-reach lower abs even get a chance to work. It's a full-spectrum, biologically sound attack on the core. All right, let's break down the precise form for every single move. Kicking off the circuit, we've got the W raise. Your extinction goal here is just 5 reps. But listen, the absolute key to actually lighting up those lower abs is making sure you lift your pelvis and clear your hips completely off the ground at the top of the movement. If your hips stay glued to the floor, you're really just swinging the weight of your legs around. Clearing the pelvis is what forces the lower abs to genuinely engage. So you start with your legs low, come halfway up, clear the hips, and then trace the shape of an outer W with your legs. And repeat. As soon as you fail to hit off 5 reps, boom, you are extinct. Next up, the Black Widow knee slides. And yeah, you're really just trying to survive these. This targets bottom-up rotation, and your extinction goal is 45 seconds. To get the maximum benefit here, focus really heavily on crossing that knee over and physically sliding it up the opposite arm. Doing that creates a massive posterior pelvic tilt. Basically, that means you're aggressively tucking your tailbone underneath you, which deeply, deeply engages the core. Go for 45 seconds, take your tiny 10-second rest, and repeat until you just can't keep moving for the full time. Moving right along to the butterfly sit-up. The extinction goal here is 10 reps. Now, here is a super fascinating biomechanical twist for you. You actually want to use your arms to generate a little bit of momentum. I know, usually that's a no-no, right? But here, doing so surprisingly opens up extra engagement and benefits for your upper back muscles, all while your total core is working overtime to pull you off the floor. Hit your 10 reps, take your 10-second rest, and go again until extinction. For our fourth move, we are shifting focus entirely with the seated corkscrew. This one demands 45 seconds of work per set. The key form cue to remember is driving your knees inward and across your body. You are intentionally just hammering the obliques here. As our source material points out, aggressively training the obliques with this specific kind of isometric hold is exactly the mechanism that works to visually taper in your midsection. Survive the 45 seconds, take your breather, and go again until failure. All right, now we shift into the top-down movements, where the legs stay completely still and your upper torso is doing the moving. Enter the levitation crunch. The extension goal is 10 reps, but the true magic of this exercise, that happens by clearing your shoulders entirely off the floor and holding a strict levitating pause for a 1 to 2 count right at the absolute peak of the contraction. It is an incredibly intense squeeze that isolates those upper abs, forcing them to hold your body weight directly against gravity. And finally, the grand finale. You cap off this entire grueling workout with the sit-up elbow thrust, aiming for 5 explosive repetitions on each side. This is your top-down rotation move. You want to explosively set up and forcefully drive your elbow across your body. But keep in mind, by the 6th exercise, your core is going to be absolutely on fire. Because you're doing this in a highly fatigued state right at the very end of the circuit, those 5 reps per side, yeah, they're going to feel like 50. Once you fail here, the workout is officially complete. Let's move into our final section, part 4, consistency and the challenge. Let's talk about why pushing through that severe fatigue state for nearly a month is really the ultimate victory here. Ultimately, the source material just hits the nail on the head with this quote. Even if you're at that high level of body fat, you develop that habit that will set you up for a lifetime. Completing this extinction loop every single day for almost a month forms an absolutely unshakable behavioral habit. And that transcends just getting visible muscles. You're proving to yourself that you can actually stick to a rigorous daily discipline. And that kind of mental toughness, it inevitably bleeds into every other area of your life, from how you handle your nutrition to your overall work ethic. So, here we are, armed with the extinction training methodology and a highly scalable, totally floor-only routine. The final question is up to you. You've got the exact 6 exercises, the rep counts, the timing, and the actual science behind why the extinction method works. The whole playbook is yours. But, as we all know, knowing isn't doing. So over the next 22 days, are you going to let your old habits dictate your reality, or are you going to overwrite your baseline and forge something completely new? What happens on day 1?